whenever something bad is happening, something that is causing me stress is happening, I think of all of the worst things that are not happening, and I just think of how much I would pay to get back to the situation, precisely the circumstance I'm now in, that I'm now stressing.
If you could wave a magic wand or set the parameters for how you wanted to think each day, the thoughts that you actually came in your mind, and you could control it. I'm assuming you control them in a lot of your own ways with your own strategies and techniques and awareness. But if you could just say, I'm sick of trying to control it or reframing things when they come up, and you could just say, I want to think these thoughts every day. What would you want to think? What type of thoughts would you want to think? And what would you want to eliminate?
Yeah, well, so first, more fundamentally, I'd want to recognize that the mind has no shame. It just thinks. It just thinks, yeah. Right? So like the thoughts just keep coming, and the goal from a meditative point of view, and this is an analogy that's used in Tibetan Buddhism, is to get into a position where thoughts are like thieves entering an empty house. Right? So there's just no possible problem.
Can't steal anything.
Yeah, there's just nothing to steal.
That's interesting.
So to truly be indifferent to between a good thought and a bad thought, that's the real superpower.
That is cool.
So that's the kind of the more fundamental level of addressing the problem. But it's also true that you can skillfully kind of curate the contents of your thinking and think better thoughts deliberately. And you can think more creative thoughts, you can think more compassionate thoughts, ethical thoughts. And yeah, I mean, so I'm interested in many things. I want to know more about many things. I want to be right more often than I'm wrong. I mean, so all of that's happening at the level of the conversation you're having with yourself and other people, and with good books, and so I mean, I think there are philosophies like the Western philosophy of Stoicism, like the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. There's so many good thoughts. That if you were looking for a script that would generate a reliable baseline of psychological well-being and ethical conduct, that's certainly part of the script. I mean, to be able to think, and again, it comes back down to reframing a lot. So, like, if again, to make it trivial, you're driving in traffic and someone cuts you off, right? The natural state, sort of the road rage state, is to be irate, and to essentially hate that person.
Right.
The person whose face you can't even see. I mean, you can't even tell whether the person's 90 years old or 20 years old, right? And that should matter to you, right? Like, you should have a different feeling about a 90-year-old than a 20-year-old in that moment, given the implications. But so, like a stoical kind of reframing of that would be is to recognize you don't know what is going on in this person's life, right? And 9 times out of 10, if you could know it, you would feel compassion for what's going on there, and you'd feel gratitude that you're not suffering the same problem. I mean, the one reframing I use all the time now is that whenever something bad is happening, or something, quote bad, something that is causing me stress is happening, I think of all of the worst things that are not happening, and I just think of how much I would pay, literally pay, to get back to the situation, precisely the circumstance I'm now in, that I'm now stressing about.
If you had worse conditions.
Yeah, right. So like, just
you had no legs, if you were
exactly.
sick, if you're in the hospital.
You find out, I did not find out today that I have a brain tumor, right? So whatever I was stressing about today, if I got the call that I have a brain tumor, right? How much would I pay to get back into precisely the situation where I was just stressing about, whatever it was on my schedule, or.
Yeah.